What's up? What's up? What's up? It is Wednesday, January 7th, 2026. We're in 26, guys. We're here. You are with the cast of the Hit List. How's everyone doing?
Hi.
So we have a lot of stuff to talk about tonight. It's gonna be not too long of a show. We usually go like an hour 20. But we have a lot of stuff on our docket tonight. So we're going to get the show going as soon as we say hello to Brandy. Brandy's back in the house tonight after being gone for about a month. Brandy, what's up? How was your time off?
It was nice. I mean, I got business taken care of. That's what I need the time off for. So it was fine. It was good. I'm doing good. Family's good. Holidays were good. Oh, yep, that's me and Bestie. Christmas celebrating.
Where was this at, Brandy?
This club out in Lansing,
Michigan.
I was there for the holidays visiting.
Nice. I seen that on Facebook.
Lots of food. We had so much food.
You cooked all that?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, sir.
That's what it look pretty.
Tam had the meats and stuff catered. That right there is Tam seafood boil.
Oh, okay. All right. I saw greens back there and some other stuff. Well, I'm glad to have you back. Even though I talk to you all the time, I'm glad
glad to be back. I miss y'all pretty faces. I love y'all.
Brandy wasn't scheduled to be on tonight, but we were talking on the phone yesterday, and she had some things to say about some hot topics. So I said, just come on tomorrow night. So yeah, Tamar, you're looking all chocolate and Nubian down in Texas. How are you?
I'm doing so good. Tomorrow's my birthday. I'm turning 39.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Another Capricorn. Oh my goodness, it's so mean on my timeline. I'm loving it.
Oh yeah, Brandy's birthday's next week too. So you guys are both.
It's Capricorn season. I mean,
it's us, baby. It's us. It's us.
Yeah.
Well,
if you said you're turning 39.
I'm turning 39 tomorrow. Yeah, I'm 40. I'm just round that shit.
No, this is the last of your dirty 30s. Boy, you better take advantage of it when that 40 comes.
But you know, life is good.
Dang, I missed that 3.
Tamar, when 40 hits, things just start hurting and falling apart and
I rebuke that.
I'm not listening. This is the thing. I'm already feeling it getting out the bed, like one leg at a time, one arm at a time. Muscles just hurt.
Baby Cat said it best. You get older, sometimes you injure yourself standing up.
Yeah.
Happy early birthday. Hello,
you.
Aunt Deb. If you want to send Tamar or Brandy a birthday gift, I know Brandy's Cash App is up. Tamar, do you have a Cash App?
I do. It is. I will send it in the chat.
Okay. Shaq. You look all Nubian as well down in Georgia. How are you?
Thank you. I am great. I had a very, very eventful holiday. That's the only way to describe it. It was incredibly eventful.
Yeah.
Some crazy stuff, some good stuff, but in the end it is all okay and I am equipped to handle it. So I feel great. But when I say eventful, I mean eventful like house full of kids, taking in a new child, LGBTQ child. Oh my gosh. Let's see. Car accident. Yeah, my new truck. Boom. It just kept coming, man. And it happened on New Year's Eve. I was out last minute Christmas shopping. Boom. Pop my vehicle.
We bind the enemy in the name of the Father.
Baby. But I'm so good. That truck getting fixed. My lawyer gonna give me something, damn it, because I deserve it. How could you do that to me? It was so much going on. And my kiddo, I am now the proud, maybe temporary, I don't know, parent of a 17-year-old young, beautiful little gay boy. He's so sweet and he's a sweetheart.
17. Good luck.
Hey, my baby has a 4.0 GPA, swim, track, wants to go to Georgia Tech, has a job. So why this child living with me? Because who don't want that child?
Well, I'm proud of you.
But
Congratulations. That's what's up. Good luck with that.
we love
It's
him.
updated and
We
good
love
luck.
him, and we are happy to have him here. He's in 11th grade, so he's almost done with school. And I will do everything in my power to make sure he finishes. He's an incredible child, and if I could add a little moment here, when in our community, it is so important that we are a village, not just for each other, but for our young people. They are not always safe or loved or wanted at home, and it is important that we provide that village. It's
Most
important.
definitely.
Yeah.
Thank you, Shaq. Well, good luck.
But anyway, yeah. Happy holidays.
And y'all
Happy
be
holidays.
blessed. That's awesome though.
Yeah.
Michael, up in Michigan, Detroit. How are you?
I'm doing great. Holidays were very nice. It's been a
Yeah.
season of change. I got a new dog. I had 3 dogs. They all passed of old age within a 2-year period. My heart needed some time to rest. Now I got a new one. She's a sweetheart. Haven't named her yet. Little pit bull, black and white. She's Yeah. And also, we are closing the brick and mortar of the terrarium. The building has been sold, so it's not like a choice. The new owner said, "Get the fuck out." So we have to go. We're still in business online, and looking for a new location. But at the end of January, we'll be leaving the spot where we're at. So it's a good thing overall. These are the things that life throws at you. Navigate as best you can.
What area are you looking in?
Still like the Detroit area, Metro Detroit.
So if there's any realtors out there, contact Michael.
You have
Well,
a good
all
spot.
sounds good. I hate to hear that you guys are closing, but some new things might
Change.
come.
What's it evolving into? What's the
Yeah.
next chapter? What's gonna happen? How exciting!
That's right. That's the way I look at it, Brandy. You're exactly right.
Yeah, it'll be all right.
I always look at it. You know, I come from a religious perspective, but God doesn't always make us comfortable. Sometimes He moves us.
And sometimes it's the next best thing.
Right.
Okay.
So,
Then when one door, it's like really true. Like when one door closed, get ready to knock down another one. So
Yes.
congratulations. I feel like you're about to embark on some greatness. You have a great personality, and I'm just sending you good vibes. And the mustache is giving me life.
Oh, you know what?
I'm so glad you said something.
So we need everyone to pray. I'm sorry to cut you guys off. We need to pray. Please, everyone, prayers be with our co-host Darius. He's not feeling well. Hopefully he will be back next week. As well as Marcus was supposed to be on tonight, but things happened at the last minute. He couldn't come on, so hopefully we'll see him next week too. I was really excited to get his take on some of the stuff tonight, but I think y'all gonna make it how it's gonna be. Y'all gonna set the stage. So, anyways, Natasha's gonna be joining us very soon. So let's get into the thing of the things. First off, I wanna we have some fun things to talk about, you guys. First off, copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for the fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. All of that stuff is covered by this disclaimer under this section of the 107. So yeah, don't sue me. If there's something copyright infringements, I'm making some material I've displayed of yours that I didn't get permission for. Just email me, text me, I'll take it down, whatever. But don't try to sue me because I ain't got nothing to give you. So yeah, let's talk about our first. Oh, I'm sorry, Tamar. I'm really, really sorry. We have to do this first, guys. Tamar has some events coming up. I'm so sorry I didn't do that. Tamar, do you want to talk about it really quick?
Yeah, so I just real fast. So if you're in Dallas, Texas, there is not a lot of gay speed dating events for gay men. So I am throwing my first annual speed dating event. It's called Speed of Love, and it's going to be January the 29th. There will be cocktails, mocktails, hors d'oeuvres, just fun games. And I'm collaborating with this really cool guy in Dallas. His name is Sherelle, and he has his own baking company. So I'm excited. If you guys are in Dallas, hit me up, DM me, and yeah, just come out and have fun. Yes. Also, on the 24th and the 25th, I'm doing mini sessions for 30 minutes for $100. all pictures, and just like promoting my business. So happy Valentine's Day, and I love you. Sending you guys good love.
I can't wait to have you here in Chicago.
Oh yeah, I'm excited. I'm
so
excited.
we can do a photo shoot.
Mm-hmm.
Group, we're going to talk about that too later at our meeting. But anyways, let's get into some of the things. We're going to be starting low on the totem pole and then talking about the most talked about stuff. So first off, I want to talk about this. Hilton Hotels have informed the Trump administration they will not provide hotel service to Trump's ICE agents that are in Minneapolis right now. They have canceled their reservations. So since that happened, so there was a tweet that went out from this hotel that said they were canceling the reservations for all ICE agents. Then we get a tweet from Homeland Security. No room at the inn. Hilton Hotels has launched a coordinated campaign in Minneapolis to refuse service to DHS law enforcement. When officers attempted to book rooms using official government emails and rates, Hilton Hotels maliciously canceled their reservations. This is unacceptable. And so the after effect from that is this particular hotel has now been discommunicated from the Hilton brand. They dropped them. So my question to you guys tonight, before we get into what else is happening to Minneapolis, like that's going on right now, the breaking news, is this a good precedent to set? Because anytime a hotel can say, well, we don't want NAACP here, or we don't want LGBTQ here for Pride. What do you guys think about this? Michael, I want to go to you first. What's your...
So I guess some of the best business advice I got very early in my career from an old head was even an asshole's money is green. So you don't have to agree with somebody's views to take their money. And, I get an owner wanting to make a political statement. This is kind of terrible repercussions for their business. They probably sunk their own ship. It's tough to go up against this Trump machine, and this is the world we live in. So, stuck his neck out, head got chopped off. I feel very bad for them. But that said, you got to make a stand sometimes. I respect this owner's viewpoint.
I'm going to go to Dina. What's your opinion on this matter?
I knew you was coming to me. So yeah, I agree with what Michael said. You know what I mean? The money is the money, but then there are those times where I just got to stand on business. You know what I mean? I got to stand on business. I got to stand on what I believe. And you know what I mean? If you passionately believe in something to that extent, don't waver. Don't punk out in the end. You know what I mean? There's usually repercussions for whatever it may be. It was for our forefathers and our ancestors who went through the civil rights movement. They had to deal with all kinds of repercussions for their stand. So, I mean, I don't fault your stand, but just, you know what I mean? Be prepared that everybody ain't going to be cool with it.
Let me ask you, if they were coming to Battle Creek and they asked you to cater a dinner for these ICE agents, would you say yes or no?
No.
You'd say no.
I would say no.
Okay. I respect that.
Mm-hmm. And I need the money too, but I would say no.
Okay.
I would say yeah.
What's your take on this?
Oh man. I think it's like anything. It just depends on where you stand. I think that if you are prepared to weather the storm of turning down business, I do think it's your right. And let me tell you why. I have to say, personally, I, capitalistically speaking, tend towards pay me my money, and I'm not looking at you and not looking at me. As that's how I would prefer to run the business myself. I got kids. But with that being said, I really do respect people who take a stance. And I'm gonna tell you why. And it's not about agreeing with it or not. It's just about, this sounds very similar to when they take stance and they don't want to make gay cakes, and that's okay. You know what I'm saying? And so
Sure.
I think that in the way that they can say no, others can say no. You know, it has to work both ways. If people don't have to make gay cakes, they don't have to bring in ice cakes. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
I think it's an odd thing for it to be such a big deal when this is actively happening all the time and people are turning away people and it's okay. And so it's just like, like when is it okay and when it isn't? What are you saying is you can't be turned away, and that's kind of lame.
Right.
With that being said, if people are prepared to weather the storm, then I think you should stand on business and learn to live with it, because businesses will adjust. You may never get that crowd, but you don't need everybody's money to pay your bills, so I think it's just about what you believe in. With that being said, again, capitalistically speaking, though, I don't necessarily prefer to turn people away, because I like to be paid. So I guess it's just about what you're trying to do, what you're trying to accomplish. One thing I will say, though, is it's very much so an interesting stance to turn away ICE when we know how strong they are, right? Like, they're coming and we don't have a lot of power. And so my first mind says, when people take a stance, I hope they have protection. I mean, in this day, I admire people who take a stance. I don't have a problem with people who don't. This is a very powerful entity. And it's brave, it's courageous, it's also scary. So to those who are willing to stand up for themselves, cool. But I'm not judging people who don't want the smoke, because that's a lot of smoke.
Speaking about Minneapolis, I can never say that. There's breaking news coming out of Minneapolis right now, and I didn't have time to even get a picture of her or the situation because I was downloading other stuff for the show. But we want to say, and we don't know all the facts yet. Rest in peace to Renee Nicole Good. She was actually shot in the face today by an ICE officer and died. I guess there was a situation. She was in her car. I'm not going to say leak because I don't know what else happened after that, but they shot her and she's dead. I have seen firsthand this ICE stuff get out of control. It only takes a little bit of egging on. And I'm not saying she was egging on, but when it's a crazy, I've seen it right in my front yard. These ICE people are not playing. They just need a little tiny excuse to shoot you or to do whatever they want to do. So we're going to let the facts come out first before I will dive into it next week because I don't want anyone to say anything wrong. But just rest.
But like I said, powerful entity. And so when you stand up to something like this, it's scary.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. So, I won't say anything else. But yeah, rest in peace to her. And let's move on to our next subject because we got a lot going on. So, one of my favorite singers in the world is Donnie McClurkin. I've always looked up to him vocally as a musician, as a composer. I think he's great. On the other end, he's being accused of SEX, sexual misconduct. I should have said it. By this young man. Let me get my news up so I can not give you guys the wrong information. It's been said that this goes back years. Hold on. Here we go. Media take.
Yeah, they essentially said he's grooming him, right? He was
grooming him. I guess he was having Pray the Gay Away events. Allegedly, he was having these events. He's Grammy-winning gospel singer and pastor Donnie McClurkin named in a New York lawsuit alleging years-long sexual abuse. Accuser claims abuse occurred during the Pray the Gay Away sessions. I'll go into a little bit. A civil lawsuit filed in New York accusing gospel singer Pastor Donnie McClurkin. According to the complaint, the accuser says he first connected with McClurkin in the early 2000s while struggling to reconcile his sexuality with Christian faith. He claims that initially appeared to be a mentorship, later turned into grooming, and alleged sexual abuse during private meetings, work-related travel, and so-called Pray the Gay Away sessions. Now, I told y'all he's one of my favorite voices. I really admire him. But on the other hand, I witnessed with my own eyes Donnie McClurkin at a Pride, maybe 10, I won't say what state it was, but maybe 15 years ago. He was with two other queens, and they were at this event. And so I even then was an instigator, and I went on my Facebook and tagged him and asked him, what's the deal? He blocked me. That didn't stop me from liking his music. I just knew there was something wasn't clean in the milk. So that was my first taste of this seeing him out at that kind of event. Now he could have been witnessing there. I don't know, but he was there. So that's not an allegedly. But I'm gonna go to Dina first. Dina, what do you think about this?
Oh no, baby, we're not gonna skip past your little tea you just dropped, honey. We won't be skipping past that.
Clock it.
And I have witnesses. There are people
He
all
said
time.
not allegedly, baby, because I know.
Well, I saw him.
Was there?
Yeah,
He was there.
My God.
Now let me also put a pin in it. He was there also for a concert at night, but during the day, he was
the Pride event?
He was at the Pride Fest. So,
All right then.
I'm gonna go back to Dina again, unless you need a minute. Just being of faith, I want to get your perspective of this, and then we'll go to.
I'm praying for all parties involved. SA of any kind towards anyone is unacceptable. I don't care who you are. I don't care how much authority you have. Is unacceptable. However, he is innocent until proven guilty. So I'm praying for all parties involved and that the truth be revealed. This is the season of consequences. This is the season of uncovering. Okay. So if you're not doing right, if you're not doing what you claim to be doing, this is the season where you just might get exposed. So I'm praying for all parties involved. But the tea was boiling hot.
Hey, Mar.
He fell down and he never got up. And I'm gonna say this, it's punks like this. I'm gonna be real. It's punks like this that sit here and pretend that they don't like what and be in the church acting like they is holier than thou. And that's one reason why I turned away from church, because all these videos of you praying the gay away and you still ain't prayed the gay away. You prayed on somebody else. And so it's like, this is my thing. Come out and be in your truth. And you
hold that.
Hold
that thought. Just hold that thought 1 minute.
Somebody sent me a text, a direct message. Sometimes internet gets on my nerves. It gives too many people access to you. Strangers sent me a text. Happy Gay Pride Month. And I started to pass it by. I said, let me deal with this one. And I said, well, thank you so much for reaching out to me. But now let me explain to you. Jesus is against the proud. Pride comes before destruction. The heart and spirit come before a fall. I thought you were gay. I thought you was molested as a child, that you gay. If any man be in Christ, he is a new creation. Old things are passed away, and behold, all things are made new. Let God deliver you. Have a good day. No. He sent back again. Oh, so yeah, right. You prayed the gay away. Okay, all right. I said, no, I ain't had to pray nothing away. I ain't had to pray nothing away. If you don't believe that God changes people, then you on the wrong thread.
Okay, so he's been very honest about God has delivered him from. That's why I stopped you, Tamar, because I wanted to give that a chance. But you can continue saying what you were going to say.
He looked woe down, toe down, through, bent over, hit by a train because he has not been living in his truth. And when you are toe down that much, you are not living in your truth. You are drained spiritually. You can just tell that he's not living his truth. And he gaslit he gaslit them. He said, when you don't have to deal with something you don't have to live in your truth. You basically said you have been delivered. So, baby, you know what? I don't understand this type of gay guy, like type of gay person. It's like, if you are gay, clearly, and it's like, it's one of those things in the Black community that I see, like, we go to church and we know who's gay, but people won't say it. They won't acknowledge it. And so when it does come out, it's an issue. But we've been seeing these people in this church this way this whole time. It's just like, let's turn a blind eye because they are the pastor, or they are the deacon, or they are the choir director. They are the people that's bringing the things to the church. But when it's actually coming out, you are in the spotlight. You know that all this is going to come out, so you should have just lived in your truth. Now he's in this situation, and like Dina said, this is the season for revealing.
I have said this before, Tamar. The Black church loves to use us for directing their choirs, to style their hair, to style their convocation outfits. They won't let us walk down those same aisles to get married. I have a huge problem with that. And I've been very vocal about it. Brandy, what do you think about this?
I don't think much about it. I guess I kind of feel like Tamar. He's a gay man not living his truth. It's not a secret. It's not nothing new. I did have a question about the guy, though. How old? Do we know how old the guy is?
Not exactly, but we know he's over 18.
Well, he's grown now. I'm wondering as
I
far
think
as
he was 20. I think I heard something about 21.
when it
or
started, or he's
20 when
21
they
now.
started. When it started.
True.
And that was something that I was kind of questioning, like, because he was saying that he was groomed into this, into that. And I guess it's kind of a thing. I don't know. I don't really think about, I guess maybe it's depending on what you're looking for. I can't imagine an adult grooming this other adult to be what he wants him to be. That's why I was asking how old he was. That's
21 years
different
old.
to me. I'm not going to say it's not possible, but that's just it's different to me. It would be easier hearing as a child he groomed me and this happened, and now I'm coming out with it, but blah blah blah. But this started happening to you while you was already an adult. That reads weird to me.
So the accuser is also saying that Donnie McClurkin later sent an email apologizing for his behavior, but an attorney for Donnie has strongly denied the allegations, calling them categorically false, in a statement saying, at no time did Pastor McClurkin engage in coercion of Mr. Corlato, end quote. So I don't know. This is very new. So people are forming their opinions. Things are being said. Natasha, what do you think?
I think a lot of stuff. So firstly, at 21, when the relationship started, I have a hard time going with you were groomed, because at that point you are aware of age differences. You are aware of potential consequences of dealing with someone older. And so you have the choice. You have the choice to be able to say yes or no. I mean, I understand the power dynamics and everything can make that decision a little harder, but you are an adult at 21 and you can make decisions for yourself. And so that's going to give me some reason to pause on giving this the validity of SA versus a consensual relationship gone bad. 2, I often side eye people who have never been romantically linked to anyone in the church, any church, like Catholic, Black church, whatever, who have never been romantically linked with anyone outside of maybe, let's just say, like a nun or someone that is like within a community that's maybe not within the world, that does not have a lot of worldly influences, where a lot of that stuff is shut out. But when you are a Donnie McClurkin, or when you are a Kim Burrell, or when you are some of these other people who have never been romantically linked with anybody, but yet you are in the world and you in with all of us and you out here with all of us amongst a whole bunch of other romantic couples, married couples, and things like that, I know that there is a desire for you to want to have some sort of companionship with someone, because other relationships around you influence you. And so if you're a nun or if you're a monk or something like that, you are isolated in a community where that is not a part of your everyday life. But when you are in the church and marriage is impressed upon you very heavily, family is impressed upon you very heavily, and the whole thing of marriage and the marriage bed being undefiled, and y'all can have the most wild, nasty sex, and you can't have that because you're not married and you're a leader of the church and you don't necessarily desire that for yourself, and you don't and you're not having that to the public. That's not a part of your life because you're single. What's going on there? What's going on there? And
where
so
you sneaking and creeping?
Exactly.
Correct.
And so this is where it's just so hard for me to believe that people, I'm not going to say necessarily names, but Donnie McClurkin is satisfied in life just not having a companion at all. He has a companion. We just don't know about it.
Yeah, not to mention, you're a pastor, so you have to counsel married couples. And
exactly.
I know I don't want somebody who doesn't have a relationship trying to counsel me and my man about
exactly.
So
if you're counseling someone about sex and things like that, you don't have those desires for your own self when you go home after you just got done counseling a whole bunch of couples about that. Like, you don't have those desires for that own type of companionship and those own and sexual acts your own self. I find that so hard to believe because sex is such a natural thing. Sex is such an innate thing. And so I have a hard time believing that you are out here with all of us who are coupled up, booed up, and fucking, and you don't want to have any parts of that. What do you? And so at this point, we really got to do a deep dive in the church where we are at a point of accepting people so that they can actually live in their truth and actually be happy. And actually live their life to their fullest happiness, because you only get one life, and you cannot live your life trying to make everybody else happy, because
Agreed.
this is your only shot. This is your one time. We don't get, this ain't a dress rehearsal. This is your one time.
Let me pose this question to the group, and you too, Natasha, because you said something. Live your life and be happy. So what if someone says back to you, well, trying to live my life right and getting to spend eternity with my Father is going to make me happy? Then what do you say?
That's between you and God to decide, but you can't try to make you can't make people happy. You gotta take people off of that, because I think more than nothing, people are trying to make the congregation happy instead of making God happy.
Real quick, let's get into some of these comments. Darius, he's watching us. Hello, brother. Hope you're feeling well. That situation was a money grab, pure and simple. Okay. Brandy agrees. We're discussing McClurkin, not Donnie. I was sad. I saw that. A lot of us were sad. So yeah.
Ash, I couldn't. When I see people like Donnie McClurkin and stuff, I'm going to give you as simple of an example as I can think of. I love the butter pecan ice cream, the little Talenti one, the Southern butter pecan. That's my guilty pleasure. If you stick one of them in my freezer, and I open that freezer up every day and see that ice cream, I am in turmoil. I did a test once. I stuck it in there for like a week to see how long it would take me to eat that ice cream. And I was going hard. Matter of fact, that week I had even taken a couple fat burners. You hear me? I did everything I could to stay away from that ice cream. I think I made it 4 days. And so what I'm telling you is, as a human being, the things that we want, we don't make it very long. I made it 4 days. Okay, on some ice cream. Now you gonna tell me he gonna make it 40 years on some dick? I disagree. I just disagree.
Say something.
I just disagree. I do not believe in praying away gay. I think you can do that, but back to Natasha's point, unless you put yourself in an isolated community that can really help you zone into something else in order to keep it away. Let me tell you, you know how I stay off of Southern butter pecan ice cream? I don't buy it. I don't put it in my house, because if it's in my house, the longest I can make it is like 4 days. If it's in my house, I gotta forget it's in there. You gotta hide it behind the chimichangas so that I don't see them. You know what I'm saying? And so you are in the church every day. You in studios, you walking around men. You are being exposed to the creme de la creme because you are famous and you are Donnie McClurkin and you are a legend. You are seeing prize booty. You're gonna touch it. So at this point in my life, people who like this, who get famous and they talk like this and then they say that they don't partake, I just know they're lying. I consider them liars, and I think it's all a joke. So I think they all guilty of something. But that boy was 21. So I'm not gonna focus on that, and I don't think he probably should get back.
Hold on, real quick. Right after this,
I said what I said.
I'm allowed to say, Shaq, I don't want you to say chimichangas or butter pecan ice cream for the rest of the program.
I understand what I said.
Tamar, what were you going to say?
You got to go back to the prime example. We have a really good example, Bishop Eddie Long. He did all this stuff and was in the church and was the face of the church and was a huge church in Atlanta, Georgia. And then all of a sudden, all this stuff came out. And yeah, when you are in the limelight like this, you have a due diligence to be your most authentic self. And then all of a sudden, all these lies come out, and then everything.
You're going to fall. You're going to slip and fall. You're human.
Exactly.
You're going to eat the ice cream. You're going to eat it if you see it.
Okay, Dina, were you said you had
nothing else?
What I do agree with, if you put yourself in that atmosphere, then you are going to go after what you are naturally inclined to go after. I don't believe in praying the gay away. I don't believe in that at all. I do believe in being your authentic self, but I also do believe that there are people who have honestly and really been changed for whatever direction that they went into. And
how long did it last though?
So for some, I mean, God is a keeper. So I do believe
God is a keeper.
God is
The
a keeper.
gay is
So
particular.
I do
And
believe
when you want some coochie, ain't nothing like it. It's coming for you.
that's true, but I mean, I do believe that God will keep you if you want to be kept, but you have to put yourself in a situation where you are not surrounded by the things that are going to.
Says the person with a husband. Like, it is human to want companionship. It is human to want to be held, and it is human to want to have sex. You want it.
Okay,
you want it. Do you want some
finish.
coochie, Dina? You don't want no coochie, Dina.
But
Like, I'm telling you, man.
But here's
I am
the
telling
thing:
you,
there are
these
people
folks
who
are
are
full of it.
living not just gay people, heterosexual people. There are people who are living without sex. There are people who are living a chaste life, who are choosing
and they usually got a good reason. Like, they used to get beat up and they over it, or they just can't take it no more. Like, there's something behind it. There is an impetus for it. Like, and what we have seen consistently with Donnie is talk of wanting. He talks of wanting partnership and stuff, and then he get the talk. Donnie full of it. I don't believe him, and I do think that there is a small subsection of people who just release, but it's always something behind it. It is never just, oh, I'm done. Usually they are worn out. Usually you meet that woman, she don't want no more kids, she don't want no man or nothing. Then you find out she was married for 20 years and he wore her out, and she done had 7 kids and she's over it. Like, there's something behind it. But no, and you see the markers of it. You see the markers. This dude ain't it.
I'm not specifically referring to Donnie.
Okay.
Donnie is a different case. I'm really more so referring to the idea or the concept that change cannot occur. Change can occur. God can keep you if you want to be kept.
No, I won't argue that. I'm not saying it's impossible. I am saying it's improbable.
You have to have a desire to want to, and what your desires are, that's between you and God. That's between you and God. But I'm not specifically referring to Donnie.
Yeah, we don't believe in Donnie. But how about that? Because I do believe in self-discipline. Don't get me wrong. I don't want to put this blanket statement and say that people can't do it. Because my mama was over, man. I looked up and my mama didn't date nobody for like 20 years. I started begging her to go out. It can happen. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying it can't happen. But I'm just saying that these people who preach against it and stuff, all that just reeks of, I think they are dangerous to our community. And so I have a hard time wanting to focus on people who successfully prayed the gay away, because I think it sends the wrong message. People are not smart enough to be that nuanced, so like I don't want to give a platform to people like that.
I don't believe
Okay. Darius said, I think gay people practice incredible self-discipline. The desire never goes away. That's very true. Me and Brandy used to have a member of our family who thought they could pray the gay away. And it was just always funny to us, because
and people like that always want a platform, always want to be preaching to somebody. Sit down.
It just sounded crazy at the time when we were little, and it still sounds crazy 20, 30 years later. Like, you can't pray. You can't. Never. We're not going to go down that road. But yeah.
It's insane.
Michael, do you think this is a money grab? Do you think it was a case?
I guess, for me, I take the religion out of this. This makes me mad. I think there is something inherently predatory and perverse when somebody in their late 40s or early 50s, as Donnie was when he connected with this young man in his early 20s, a 30-year age, that you shouldn't be at that age trying to link up in a romantic way with someone who's in their late teens and early 20s. There's something wrong with you. And I think as a society, particularly in the gay community, we turn a blind eye to this. And I don't know why. I've done it myself. I'm ashamed of it in the past, but it's gross and it's wrong. And I understand he's 21. He's an adult under the law. His brain's not fully formed yet, though. Like, science shows, until your mid-20s, you don't think right about certain things. So if you are at an advanced age, as Donnie McClurkin was, and kind of fooling around or trying to influence someone at that age, there is something wrong with you. And I hope that he is held to account. I really do. It's gross.
But did he break the law? No.
Still, it's gross. It's morally repugnant to me.
And in those cases, like you see in these cases with these situations, people that have platforms are able to use that to their advantage. And so, sometimes people they get starstruck and they're like, oh my God, we don't know the conversation. It could have been a potential, hey, I'll help you if you do this. We don't know. Just I'm not saying it happened, but in cases you have like people that are so starstruck with what they can gain, they just do whatever they need to do to get to the next level, and then it does not turn out the way that they want it, and then this is like, I'm going to be the victim and throw out this because you didn't give me what I want. And there's been so many cases. So hopefully I pray that it does get fixed, but we're going to see more come out.
Yeah, we will. And we'll talk about it. So
I wish Donnie would just go to a studio and just sing and do nothing else. That's what I wish.
Yeah.
I wish he would just disappear and go live his truthful life, whatever that may
Go
be.
away and write a love
Well, he
song.
has he just recently, I don't have the direct quote with me, but before this dropped, he came out and said this next album will be his last album.
Good.
I don't know, but I don't know if
Hi,
that's
Mickey Boo.
okay. So let's keep from one church down to another one. And you guys, after we talk about this tonight, I don't want to talk about it again on the show because I thought it was going to die out last week, and then it kept going. That's the only reason why we're going to talk about it again tonight. Jamal and Dr. Carrie Bryant. Jamal Bryant is the pastor of New Birth Missionary Baptist Church in Atlanta, Georgia. Dr. Carrie Bryant is his new bride. She looks a lot like Giselle Bryant, but hey, you got a type.
Yeah,
I have a type too. So everybody got their type. But anyways, both he and her have been under fire about a dress she chose to wear to a fundraising event last week. I'm trying to get the picture of that dress for you guys. This is the dress that Dr. Carrie Bryant wore to they raised over $4 million for the American Negro College Fund. It was an event of the mayor, a private event from the mayor of Atlanta. They were guests there. And this is the dress she chose to wear. Now, many people in the church say that this dress was inappropriate. They say this dress gives the illusion of nudity. Under there, that's all nude material, but it gives the illusion of nudity. And then they said the ruching by the crotch makes it a little inappropriate. She should have chose something else. So that is the first thing I'll say about that. Now, there's a lot of leaders, religious leaders have come out against Dr. Jamal and Carrie for this dress. The main one being Bishop Wooten in Florida. He's a Church of God in Christ bishop. And he had a lot to say about this. And he always, like Clarissa Shields, always says too much. She just needs to preach, bring souls to Christ, and that's it. Like, you always say the most. But let's listen to what he had to say.
Flesh-colored dress, I don't know. It's black dress and flesh color. It gives the illusion that she's not wearing anything underneath. And I heard the preacher, when he defended her dress, by saying, first of all, he bought the dress. And then he said, I want to address people who don't know anything, who haven't been anywhere, who don't know nothing. So I guess our objection to a man of the cloth presenting his wife in public looking like a $2 whore. Two. At least two. Now, I didn't say she was. I'm not talking about her. My statement is not about her. My statement is about him. I said he presented his wife, and he said he bought the dress. Those are his words, not mine. And there is nothing classy about that. There's nothing modest about that. He said we haven't been anywhere. What I would like to know is where have you been? Where did he go? So I'll make sure that I never go there, because I don't want to go anywhere and I come back with that kind of a notion. Now, I will say this, and this is a comment about my wife, not his wife. This is a comment about my wife. My wife wouldn't have done it, no matter what I said. She just would have said, honey, I'll wear this for you. I wear this for you at home.
Okay, so first off, his wife could never wear that dress. I'm just gonna put that out there.
Yuck. You ain't sure about that man's wife.
She could never wear it.
Never. Secondly,
Never.
now just because I say that does not mean I have two things can be true at once. I'm gonna give my opinion, then because I never really give my opinion on stuff like you guys do. I think he could have kept that, because I believe a pastor's or a bishop's first job, bottom line, is to bring souls to Christ. Nothing what he said in that last 2-minute rant is going to bring anybody, and all those people cheering him on, they're part of the problem. That doesn't belong in the pulpit, in my opinion. Bishop Wooten talks too much, and he's MAGA, so we won't even go down that road. Secondly, I think to a certain age group of people, I'm going to talk for myself. Others might have different opinions. For 40 on up, I think some of us might have been okay with it, but kind of still was like, okay, I wouldn't wear it. But because us 40 and up, we grew up with different church mothers than they have now. Mm-hmm. We grew up with the mothers that put a cloth over your leg if your skirt was too short, or they didn't want you chewing gum in church. Like, we had different rules and standards back in the 80s and 70s, 80s when coming up in church. Now this is a new generation. They don't see things like we did in the past. It's a new day. So I wouldn't have wore the dress being a first lady, but I'm not a first lady and I'll never be one, so I won't have that problem.
Yeah, her husband proud. She should be proud, right? I mean, they happy together.
Keep that. Hold that.
The dress my wife had on. Now, they didn't say anything about the $4 million that was raised for the United Negro College Fund. They never mentioned that she prayed until heaven came down. They never said anything about this was the largest fundraiser for for HBCUs in the country. But insecure, jealous, petty, small-minded people got in their feelings and set up a false barometer of holiness based off of a dress. Now, you got to help some people, because some people have embraced the full knowledge of ignorance without any assistance for understanding. The dress was not see-through. The dress was flesh color. But because you ain't never been nowhere and ain't never been exposed to nothing, y'all don't like this. I need to set the record straight. I bought the dress. And I like it. I don't care whether you like it or not. She ain't mad to y'all. She mad to me.
Right.
It did, however, stand out to me that there were religious leaders who used their platforms to say things that I truly was confused by it. We talk about grace. We talk about understanding. There was at least one bishop who said that I'm paraphrasing here because it's actually really hard to even say, but implied that you were treating her like a prostitute, essentially, is what he said.
Yeah, it was very painful. I don't use my platform to preach against other preachers when there's so much that's going on in the world. Did it hurt?
I mean, this is the woman, as you said, when your 5 habits, one of them was to protect her.
Yes.
And to not be defensive in protecting her.
Yes.
How did it feel because it is your wife?
Yeah, it was very enraging and irritating. And at the end of the day, I had to think to myself, to respond to that, does that grow the church or does it diminish it? And so at that moment, I had to separate my humanity and really deal with my divine call.
Now, again, I say two things can be true at once. I don't believe either one of them should approach that from the pulpit. I think he has a podcast. He could have said that on his podcast.
It's a rap battle.
Yeah, that's basically what it is. I want to get in these comments and then we'll go to the co-host. Darius said the gala was not a church event and that lady is a multidimensional. She's more than just a first lady. But I think when you're a first lady, you're always on stage, a pastor or a first lady. Just like the mayor or the president, you're always on. You don't get to have a day off or a night off. There's someone always looking at you. That's just my opinion, Darius. Jonte said, I've seen worse things at gospel awards. She also said, funny, they use their platform for this, but not some more necessary things. Okay, so let's go to the co-hosts. I'm just going to go right down the line. Let's go to Tasha first. What's your thoughts?
So my thoughts are, as a first lady, because I come from the old school church, so I would not have seen my first lady in anything like this. But I do think that we are not used to our first ladies dipping in glamour. Like my grandma was, clear or light pink nail polish. Red was for the ladies of the streets, So we're not used to seeing makeup on, for our generation and older. We're not used to even seeing makeup on our first ladies. So we're talking flesh tone dresses to give the illusion of nude. That's pushing the envelope. So would I necessarily say that a first lady should be in that? Me personally, no. But was it the most offensive thing? No. So it's kind of one of those things where this could be a transition piece into a new era of church leadership, first lady. I mean, I'm open to it. It's not the most offensive thing that we've seen come out of the church. It's kind of one of those things, though, too, that I think that are we bending the are we going a little too far? I don't know. I don't know. It's a tough one. It's a tough one because they're also younger too. And so we also have to remember their ages because Bishop Wooten is his age. And then right. And Jamal Bryant is barely 50 in his 50s. So I don't know. I try to be open-minded. So this one is I'm double-minded on this one.
My aunt is a prophetess first lady, and she did a bikini competition for bodybuilding. Is that inappropriate? Interesting.
And it's not because no.
Brandy.
I think as far as Jonte's auntie, probably not, because if that's part of her job or her career or whatever, you know what I'm saying? She gets paid to show her body. That's, you know what I'm saying? Or win these competitions for showing her body or however that goes. So I don't think that's the same. I think that dress was so inappropriate. I think that dress was so beautiful. I would have loved to have seen that on Cardi B or Nicki Minaj or somebody like that, not on nobody's first lady. Like that her husband came in defending, talking about nobody spoke about how much money was made at this event, blah, blah, blah. I feel like they probably could have still made that amount of money had she had on clothes or looked like she had on clothes. Like, I don't think her dress had to look like that for them to get the money for the event. I thought it was inappropriate. And I also agree with you that it's inappropriate of them to bring it to the pulpit. Why are we talking about this in church? Why are you so opinionated about her dress at church when, like you said, you should be trying to bring people to the church, save souls, preach the word? What does that her dress got to do with it? You could have kept that to yourself.
Most
So,
definitely.
about it. And hold on. My mother was so incredibly glamorous. Bling up, hair done, nails done, heels, leather this, fur this. She never looked naked.
I was gonna say that, Brandy, but I hate always talking about our family on here. But I was gonna say the ladies I grew
Because
up around,
she was so glamorous.
they dressed down. Like
No, it was dress. Dress, yes, but makeup, like the big, like full makeup, like
well,
the red
Natasha,
nails, red lip. Because I grew up Kojic, so like I said, red was for the ladies of the street. Okay, you weren't gonna put on no red nails in front of Grandma Betty. Okay, you weren't gonna put on no red nail polish.
well, I don't know how close you watch Kojic, but Kojic has changed, baby.
No, it has, but I'm saying I'm only 40, and so you have to
Well, yeah.
remember, like,
Yeah.
so these were my grandma's rules. My grandma never wore pants. My grandma was always in a skirt. So I mean, and that's not that long ago. So
You're right.
I mean, there's been a sharp turn quickly. But I mean, that's not that long ago either. So I think
can
that
see
we
it
have
both
a lot
ways.
of we got a lot of changes that have happened quickly.
I can
So
see it.
that's what I'm saying. Is this dress one of those changes that are happening in this rapid change? I don't know.
Like I said, I can see it both ways. I've had women I grew up with, my mom, my grandmas, they all dressed down for church, but they were covered but glamorous still, dynasty glamorous, furs and everything. But
all that.
This is different. And I also want to say, I think I'll save that. Dina, what do you have to say?
My mother is a first lady now. She's currently a first lady of a Kojic church. And has always been a dresser, always dressed down. And for many, many years, she would not wear pants. For many, many years, she always wore makeup. She was always beat. But she would only do like French manicures, never color nail polish. For many years, she wouldn't allow me to do it. For many years, I couldn't go to Tuesday night Bible study in pants for many, many years, right? And so the church has evolved since that point. And I'm here for them evolving. I'm here for it. In regards to this particular dress, right? I don't think that Dr. Bryant was even thinking that this is getting ready to be like, first of all, I feel like it's selective outrage. I just sent Ashleigh a picture of a dress that she wore maybe a few months ago. Far worse. Far worse, right? Okay, because the woman, she has always been a provocative kind of dresser. She's always worn tight clothes, etc., right? This has always been her thing. Now the woman is multidimensional. She's super educated, super smart, right? And super spiritual at the same time. However, you know what I mean? Her approach to the office of first lady is definitely different. Mind you, she's been a first lady for a year. There is no handbook on being a first lady. There is no guide on being a first lady. So it is unfortunate the lack of grace that is being offered by our own community to this woman who is, you know what I mean, stepping into an office that she just had to walk into and just know what to do, right? I do not believe that she was intending on trying to look nude. I don't believe that.
Yeah.
I believe it required, to be honest with you, I blame the stylist. You know what I mean? For not even suggesting quite possibly that this could be an issue. Or that, and I know the stylist. To be quite clear, the dress was made in Michigan. So You know what I mean? I feel like there's a lot of layers to this that are not being really told or said, and she's taking the brunt of a situation that and boom, that's the picture I just sent him. That's the picture I just sent him. Now we're running around hollering and screaming, right, about this dress, but here's this dress. Now come on, I want to hear the comments. I want to hear what people have to say about that. Okay,
man,
she too naked in both of them.
Okay, so but there was no uproar. There was no dress gate for weeks. We've been talking about this for weeks, and it's time to move on. Now that's how I feel about the dress. Let's talk about how I feel about the foolishness that has come from the pulpit about this dress. Now, don't piss me off, right? Okay, because now I'm annoyed. Now, in regards to Pastor Bryant, let me tell you something. My husband is gonna stand 10 toes down for me, just like that. So if you come for me, you come for my man. Period. So my man taking whatever platform he has to stand up for me, that is what it is. Okay, mine gonna pull up about me wherever we at, whatever's going on. He's pulling up now. Bishop Wooten and I am a part of the Grand Old Church of God in Christ. Out of line for you to stand in your pulpit and call
that man wife. Say that. I'm with Dina.
If you're saying he presented her as a tutor, miss me with the explanation.
Dina, why was that man speaking on that man's wife?
Because we gotta fight. We gotta fight.
Yeah,
I mean, period. You're gonna have to see my man.
We gotta fight.
See my man. Look, I don't care who you are. I don't care how old you are. You're gonna have to see my man for calling me a $2 whore.
Yeah.
Period. And you need to be dealt with like a man. You need to be dealt with like a man. And I said on my page, I said, I'm convinced that we are confused that if we say it in the church, you're not going to answer for what you said with a swollen top lip. Because you're not going to just call some other man's wife a $2 whore.
Darius says, I agree, this should not have been addressed from the pulpit, but I understand the husband defending his wife. Darius also say we didn't give Will Smith that same grace when Chris Rock talked about
Well, Jamal didn't go slap him.
That's very true.
And hold on. And what Darius is talking about is public grace, because people that I know, I don't know too many people who had a problem with what Will did. I mean, that's his wife. I think Dina said everything that needed to be said. That man, like, my woman is fine.
You're gonna have
my woman is fine, and she look good, and I support her. Like, the end. That's just weird to me that man was speaking on that man. That man wanted to clout.
That's insane that you called that man's wife a $2.
Yeah, that is kind of crazy from the pulpit.
That's wild.
From anywhere. That's something he could have kept between him and his circle of friends.
Like, that was my husband. I would have been like, what?
You know what, Ashley? Ashley, you made a comment about how those people were in the audience saying, But what happened was he did some messy bitch shit, and then all the messy bitches out there in that audience felt empowered.
If you listen to the recording, somebody yelled, cut it! And that was because they were trying to say, cut the feed. No, you waited too long. Yeah.
I feel the same way about when people are egging pastors on when they get on the LGBT, they start preaching that from the pulpit. Like, why are you geeking him on? Like, you hate us that much? Like, I've never liked that.
The church is wild. They talk so much about this marriage stuff and to getting together. You get up there and get to talking about the people's marriages and stuff.
Right.
Married people business.
Michael, I know you're not from the church. You're not, but what do you think about this? I want to get your.
What do I think? All roads lead to Babylon, my friend. It's just the world we live in.
Darius also said Kojic won't correct Wooden or say anything about it. That's true, Darius.
I'm
That's
praying,
true.
Darius.
That's
I'm
true.
praying because there needs to be accountability. There needs to be let me tell you something. I'm not here for it. There needs to be accountability for the things that we say. 2026, I keep saying it, is a year of consequences. And there's no way that man should be able to stand in his pulpit and call another man's wife a $2 whore without there being consequences.
Now see if Jamal Bryant gonna beat him up. Then
Now Bishop Wooden has said some crazy stuff out the side of his neck before, and all we get from the head of the church is, we're friends. I mean, that's what they present to us in the pulpit. We're friends. We go along. We respect each other. I don't know if he's been, talked to in the background without people knowing, but we've never seen Bishop Sheard we've never seen him correct him or
fix it, Jesus.
One thing about being a woman, you can be a married woman and everything, you still get talked about. Boy,
that's
women just ain't safe.
Women ain't safe. It's insane. That's
hey, Mark, what do you think about this?
Yeah.
Yes.
I just think this is disgusting. He stood up there and looked like a sock puppet, for one. Sitting up there with no neck, talking about somebody else's wife and saying your wife would never wear this. We don't want to see her wear this. If you look like that, we good, bruh. Like, and this is the thing, like, I feel like if somebody wants to buy their wife something, this is the thing about what's wrong with people in general. Everybody has an opinion about somebody else's life. Like, and I mean, I when I saw it, I was like, okay, that's a baddie. Like, that's a baddie in the church. She's the first lady. Okay, she's like bringing fashions to the church. Like, sometimes fashions ain't in the church.
That's what he said when he saw her in that dress. He said, "Dang."
And I agree with Dana. Like, if you have been in a position for a year and you're walking into something that you've never been in, I can't expect you to automatically know how to be, see, hear, feel, understand, do what needs to be done if you've never done it before. And so there is no grace being given to someone. And now you don't know mentally what she's going through because now she's a laughing stock.
Yeah, that's true.
Church. So now
true.
you don't know what this woman is going through behind closed doors. And this is where, like, if you are in leadership, again, you should know how to present yourself. And I don't think this man presented himself very well. And if this is the thing that he's going to continue to do, I feel like people may start walking away from that church because they are going to look bad. And obviously no one there is holding him accountable. And that's really bad, especially being a man of God.
So yeah, I know we were going to spend a lot of time on this, but we got to move on. It's almost 9:00 my time. So it's almost 10:00 you guys' time. And we have a meeting after this still. So we got to speed through these next things. So let's, we might have to skip Fashion Files tonight. Let's, let's go to our next subject. Will Smith is in the news. This broke right after our show on last Wednesday. It broke the next morning that he's been also accused of SA with a young man who was on tour with him. Now, this is the thing about this. I'm very connected to the world of music and all of that, but I don't recall Will Smith going on a tour.
He did go on tour.
When? Where was I at?
He recently have been on tour because he dropped the gospel album. He went on tour a little bit.
And world tour?
He was on tour. He went to a couple of cities, but it didn't do anything, so he didn't complete it, but he was going on tour.
With dancers and a band?
Because he brought out a gospel album.
I don't recall any of this.
Yeah, he brought out some gospel
Did anybody else?
I know that he's been putting out music. He's been back in the music game in the last few years. I know it ain't really did nothing. So maybe he's been doing little independent things or whatever. But okay. I mean, is somebody? I wasn't able to get much info on this, and then I was so busy, so I wasn't.
Let me play the video. Let me play the video. We'll talk about it.
Right. I just wanted to talk about something really important. Earlier this year, I was hired to be a performer on a major tour with somebody who is huge in the industry. So I was excited, proud of myself for getting the opportunity. Unfortunately, some things happened, and I can't get into the details of exactly what that was, because it's already a legal issue right now. But the reason why I'm speaking out about this is because getting fired or getting blamed or shamed or threatened or anything like that simply for reporting sexual misconduct or safety threats at work is not okay. And I know that there's a lot of other people out there who have been afraid to speak up, and I understand. And if that's you, I see you. And that's pretty much it. More updates to come soon. Thanks for listening, everybody.
Now let me say this. I've been reading the comments, and for some reason why a lot of people don't believe him.
So he went on tour. He recently just got off tour recently, and he only did UK and European, and it was called Based on the True Story. He brought out an album recently called Based on the True Story, and this is the first album he brought out in 20 years, and he hasn't really been in America, but he was in European and the UK on tour, and it was supposed to come to the US, but it hasn't released the date yet.
Okay, we'll stop. Okay, so my mom said, I feel
so was it Will or somebody working with Will?
Now this is where it gets fishy.
Because I still haven't been able to figure that out.
This is where it gets fishy. He's never said his name. He's never said his name, and people just put pictures side by side. A lot of people are not believing him. I don't think he looks like. Now, if he was, let me say this: if he was 6'2", yellow skin, wavy hair, I think people would feel a different way. But I think it's because of the boy. I think I think
it's because it's Will. I mean,
you don't think it's because of the way he looks?
Well, I mean, the looks may or may not be helping him. I'm not saying that, but I don't. I think it's more because it's Will, and Will's being like very out there, and like him and Jada is lit, and they known for being lit, and it's just I don't know.
Think if someone that came out that looked like what's that boy, August Alsina, do you think they'd be telling the truth? Do you think it would
I guess
different stuff?
I don't know. I ain't saying his looks help give him any validity, but I do. I don't.
Yeah, you know what? This is the thing. I don't even
know if they talking about Will.
But you know what?
The way this stuff is worded, it could be somebody connected to the tour, and he's mentioning Will because Will is the one that's gonna bring attention to his case. Like, I'm still confused on who's getting accused. I don't get it.
That was very great to me because he's never said his name.
Not even about saying his name, but the way that he's speaking. I haven't been able to say that he's directly making an accusation against the famous person whose tour he's on.
Hold on. Let me jump to Michael. Michael, do you have to name someone in a lawsuit for it to be like, how does that work?
Well, certainly there has to be another party. So yes, things can be sealed or whatever, but there's a name in there, most definitely. I also think this one's kind of like a sea of gray. Yeah. I'm also, the video that he put out there, it's not very convincing, and there's always this narrative like they need to speak up so that other folks aren't like afraid to tell their story. And I don't even know necessarily if that is true. I think, just to be perfectly candid, I was sexually exploited as a young professional. I did what I had to do to get to where I'm at today, and I have no regrets about it. It was something. It's just a part of my journey, right? And I didn't not speak up because I was afraid. This is just how life goes, right? So I always question sometimes folks who tell vague stories and leave out details, and I wonder about the motives. That's all.
Yeah, and it goes to say I agree with Michael. He really wasn't saying anything. Like, he was just like, yeah, y'all, so girl, what had happened to me, girl? Like, he was just having a casual conversation. For me, if you were sexually assaulted, you would have more emotions behind your eyes. I didn't see any emotions behind his eyes, and I think sometimes like we're still in cancel culture. Like, people still getting canceled. we already know Will Smith has this whole lifestyle that no one really knows about. And so I think sometimes people can use that against people when they know there's already a narrative out there about this.
Yeah.
So
I don't like to dive into how they do it though, Tamer. I think, people deal with trauma in their own way. It's less about the delivery or how he's going about anything. It's really just what he's saying. What he's saying is just it's so circular. Let me tell you, even in these big cases where people are lobbing these big balls at big names, like for instance, sometimes they don't drop the name yet. Or like even that time when TP was accused, but his name was never said. But it is very clear who it's aimed at, right? And then they're not saying things for their reasons. With this, I was reading stuff and I was just like, is he accusing Will or is it somebody next to him? I couldn't tell. I was like, what is he saying? Like, it's not even pointing in a clear direction. The only thing I know for sure is that Will's tour is what's mentioned, right? And there are lots of people who work on tours. So it's weird. I don't know if he worded it poorly, if he just don't have a professional working with him or something. I don't know, but it's weird. And that's
we got to move on to the next subject.
This man looked like James Brown.
All right. On the next
ugly people get love all the time.
What was I trying to say? Okay, we got to jump on. We'll be talking about Will, I'm sure, next week too, because this just broke a week ago. Raven Simone is in the news. Our girl Raven. She's in the news for a couple things. This was an old clip of her I'm going to play, and then I'm going to jump to the new clip.
Can we take back racist and say discriminatory? Because I think that's a better word.
Yes, it is a much better word.
That's a better word. And I am very discriminatory against words like the ones that they were saying in those names. I'm not about to hire you if your name is Watermelon Andrea. It's just not going to happen. I'm not going to hire you.
Really?
That's not their fault.
I would be such a beautiful King Kong Quisha, by the way, I'm just letting you guys know.
But no, is that me?
So the topic of the View, this was like 4 or 5 years ago. Are you judged by your name on a resume? Raven Simone says she's not going to hire somebody with, I won't say ethnic name, but a
ghetto name,
Quisha, or a Santuica, or a name crazy like that. She's just not going to do it. I don't blame her. It might be wrong, but I'm not.
I know people can't help what their name is, right?
I'm not doing it. It might be wrong.
You can't do that to your own culture, brother.
Jump to this. Hold on. I want to jump to this clip, and then we'll discuss.
You judge people by their names that you walk in.
That was the topic.
Thank you very much. And so what I said was, I wouldn't hire somebody named Watermelon Andrea because that name,
crazy.
that name is so polarizing and makes me think negatively because of the fact that you're naming somebody that. And that's not correct. However, what I didn't like about the situation is that people said a black name. To me, that's more racist than me saying Watermelon Andrea. Because if you think that only black people name their people that's your fault, not mine.
There it is.
Period.
That's true. Record has been set.
Yeah. I want to say something that Watermelon Andrea. I want to say something that's a little.
That's why I didn't say that's why I didn't say black, because we know a lot of other cultures name their. Look at that girl. What's that?
No, Ash. No.
Listen.
No.
What's that actress name? Her daughter, Apple. Now, I'm just not gonna. I'm looking at your resume. What's an apple? I'm not gonna. Deal with that.
Yes. Other cultures slaughter names.
Not what's an apple
in their way.
Blue Ivy.
Women, they slaughtered their naming conventions, but they do it in their cultural way, right? And so. What's the word I'm looking for? African American, the way that we speak, the way that we word things and stuff, and we call it ghetto and so forth. But all that stuff, it is cultural, and so culturally, they then go on and use weird names like Apple and skyscraper and stuff, and that's their way. And that's their way of being ghetto, right? Because ghetto is not a color, ghetto is a thing, right? And so they do it to their kids too. We get creative and make Watermelon. They get creative and start naming their kids blueberries and apple.
Skyscraper is insane.
You know what I'm saying? But it happens in every culture. If you go into the Hispanic culture, they have more creative words, and their kids are named more creative things because their their aunt and uncles or whatever were a little bit more creative, but it is cultural. It is Black. They are pointing to, she is saying Blackness when she says it because it's unique to us. It is unique to us to do that. And so every culture has a ghetto portion, right? Every culture has the ghetto side or more creative side.
I'm still not saying ghetto because I don't believe.
But we don't have to say ghetto. But listen, we will say ghetto and we will tie it to a specific race. But but what ghetto means is ghetto. And white people can be ghetto, Black people can be ghetto, Hispanic people can be ghetto. Like anybody can be extra, okay? Because that's what we're really talking about is extraness, right? Sometimes people are extra. And the way that you are extra in your culture, for instance, the way that church people are extra versus the way gay people are extra, right? Like all these little different cultures and subsets have their own level of gaudy or their own level of extroverted or whatever. Right. And so when something like water lamandria will come from our people, right? And the version of water lamandria with some white folks would probably be skyscraper, right? It's just all people's culture just going left. We know what that stuff means. That stuff is talking about Black people. And then she wants to hide behind that, behind that foolishness, she said, by mentioning that everybody is ghetto. Yeah, everybody is ghetto, and you are hating. Give skyscraper a job, give water lamandria a job, give whoever's qualified a job, because they don't name themselves. Parents name children. And now you're saying that you need to grow up and you need to pay to change your name because I'm hateful.
I think parents should think a little clearly naming your children.
Sure. Well, when your parents don't think a little clearly, you still got to pay your bills.
For years.
In the teeth.
I got picked on for years for the name Ashleigh. But as I got older, I love the name Ashleigh because I walk in the room, people don't be expecting to get an Ashleigh. So they're always like, oh. So I always catch them and be like, you didn't think I was Black man. I just think parents should think sometimes about what their kids might go through with their names a little bit more. Everybody can't talk about this one because we got to get to one more subject. I'm gonna.
Ain't nothing left to say.
Okay, let's move on.
Raven is increasingly ignorant.
Okay, let's talk about Raven Simone is still in the headlines. Her and Nick Cannon. We're talking on their podcast, and this subject came up, and I want as many opinions on this as possible.
And my father had this conversation. The culture, again, connected to slave connotations, we were taught that to, spare the rod, spoil the child. Yeah. We were taught to reprimand was to be physical. I don't think this generation feels that way. I've never hit any of them.
Okay. We debate on this.
We do.
This is that soft parenting stuff.
But you don't abuse your child.
It's not abuse. I think there is a fine. Okay, my mom used to hit me with belts, right? Now, if you ask her today, she says she didn't. But I know she did.
Oh, I love when they say that.
I know she did.
I ain't did
that. She didn't do
it. When they
didn't do it, but I know she did.
Selective memory.
But this is what I think. I think that you do have to teach your children
discipline.
Yes.
But not physical.
It depends on the
assault.
kid. It depends on the kid. These kids is not equals, though.
No, they should have reverence for you.
Mm-hmm.
And none of these,
but they shouldn't fear you in a way that they flinching.
Yeah, I flinched at my parents. I flinched at my parents to the point where one of them no longer is here, but I'm not friends with them and I went no contact. And I feel like there is a level of, I remember what you did, bruh, because I lied about eating something I didn't eat compared to crossing the street and getting hit. You know what I mean? Like,
so there's levels.
I think there's levels. I don't think a belt should be used in hitting a child. Now, a quick little pinch, get your little ass over here. Like, that's different, but take your pants off, lay on the bed, and let me whoop you. It's hurting you more than it's hurting me.
Oh, wow.
My dad apologized to me.
You were there.
Oh, good for you.
Okay, I'm not a parent, but I do remember getting my ass whooped. But every whooping I got, I remember clearly, and I have never made those mistakes again. So I think whoopings as a child, in my opinion, I think they can teach you a lesson. At least my mom did a good job with it. I remember one time I was at a basketball game after school. I hung up the phone on her. She whooped my ass when I got home. I remember that. Never to hang up on your mom again. There's some other stuff me and my cousins did. We got our asses whooped for it, like pouring my grandma's bleach out on the grass, playing house and tacos. We got our ass whooped for that. I remember all those things, and to never do that stuff again. So I think whoopings are important to a certain extent. But I also have family members who've told their grandma, if you whoop my kids, I'm whooping your ass. So I don't get that. This new generation has that kind of thing about not whooping kids. People with kids, I want to hear from you first, and then we'll go to the cast. Dina, what do you think about this?
I don't whoop my kids
at all.
No, let me hold on. So I don't whoop them, but I snatch them up. So like you know what I mean? Don't play with me ever. And so I will snatch them like who you talking to? Like I'll snatch my kids, but do I actually like whoop my kids? Do I hit my kids? No, I don't. Now my oldest child, you know, she got popped a few times. I'm not even gonna lie. She got popped a few times, but I kind of like evolved as a parent. And I don't have to hit my kids. I don't. Like my kids, they know not to play with me. And I don't play no games with them at all. So like my word, they take my word as she ain't playing. But every once in a while, you know, they want to get a little froggy, so you're gonna get snatched up. I'm gonna pull you all the way into my face and let you know I'm not playing with you. Okay. And so the fear of me is because your kids gotta fear you just a little.
Yes, they do. Yes.
They gotta be a little scared.
A little scared.
And so the fear is definitely there, but I don't have to hit my kids. I don't.
Did you get whooped? If you mind?
Absolutely got whooped.
Okay. Absolutely. All right. And what effect did it have? Would you blame your parents now for it, or would you say it was for the good?
To a certain extent. Some of my younger whoopings, I would say, were definitely for my good. You know what I mean? Like kids, you know, because I have a 6-year-old and an 8-year-old, so you know, they want to touch what's hot. So sometimes you gotta pop that hand, don't touch that. You know what I mean? So those kind of things are kind of necessary. I need you to feel the sting of knowing you can't touch that. But when I got older, like almost grown, like 17, 18 years old, putting your hands on me now, like it's crazy to me at 17 and 18 years old. And that was used as a tactic of control. And so that I am not here for at all. And that caused years of wedge, you know what I mean? Between me and my parents. And so as I got older, we worked through that or whatever, but it caused a major wedge between me and my parents. So if I don't do what you want me to do, you want to like basically fight me like I'm a nigga in the street.
Gotcha.
No.
I called my mom today and asked her, I said, do you apologize for whooping me? And she said, nope, I don't. She said, I can't have nothing in my house that I can't whoop. And I agree. I agree. Natasha, what are your thoughts on this? You're on mute.
All right. So I have popped McKinley a couple of times in the past, and I have evolved beyond that now. Just like Dina said, will I snatch her up? I have snatched her up, and I will not hesitate to snatch her up. But I have her to the point, actually, just before the show, I was fussing. She was like, can you please stop yelling at me? But Miss Girl was taking her sweet ass time. And so I was down her, like, you get it together. So I'm at a point now, my mouth is enough.
Okay.
My mouth is enough, and I can converse with her at school. If every once in a while, she might act a fool. It's not really act a fool. It's just, I don't really like your behavior at all. And so I will correct her right then and there at school and for the teachers. If there's just a slight little thing that I don't like with what she got with the teacher, I will make her apologize. I've had teachers tell me, I have never had a parent actually make their child apologize to me. I run a tight ship with mine. So she knows to not play with me. She knows to respect all the adults around her, and she knows that all consequences are predictable with me. She knows that I will stick by my word with whatever it is that I tell her will happen. So I don't have to beat her, whoop her, or anything like that. Her and I can converse, and we can have a conversation, and all consequences are predictable.
I'm gonna ask.
So I don't have to.
I'm gonna ask you the same question. Were you whooped?
Hell yeah, I was. Yeah.
Did it help or hurt?
I didn't honestly. I really don't think I needed to be whooped as a child. I was a good kid.
Okay.
I was a good kid. So honestly, I don't think it really. I think my mom did the best she could with what she knew. My mom was a young mom. She had me at 17. So I mean, my mom wouldn't have had the mental and emotional wherewithal to not whoop me at that age. She just wouldn't have. So I think it's one of those things that you have to have some emotional and mental maturity to be able to walk those parental waters without spanking your child, because trust me, it is trying, and spanking is a quick fix.
Yes.
And people don't realize that spanking is a quick fix.
Yes.
Spanking is I got you, sit your ass down.
Yes.
But me talking with you and me being on you all day without putting my hands on you and emotionally and mentally regulating myself and helping you emotionally and mentally regulate your own self, and that's a long process. And people don't understand that.
Okay, Brandy.
I think it depends on the child. I think there's levels. I think some children, like what you were just saying, some of us got whoopings and we learned our lessons. So I don't necessarily agree that it's always would be considered a quick fix, because some of us actually learned our lessons from that little pop.
Right.
But some kids don't learn till you really get off in their ass.
Yeah.
And some kids, no matter how much you beat them, they just don't learn or do different. I can't say learn, they don't do different. So beatings ain't for, and there's a difference between whoopings and beatings. And they're not for everybody. It's not for every kid. It's not for every family. It's not for every parent. Some parents don't know how to whoop their kids without abusing their kids. You know what I'm saying? So
Shaq.
I will start by saying that yes, I was beat as a child. I was actually abused, and I grew up in abuse. To the point where actually one of the cousins I grew up with was taken from our family by a court of law. The rest of us, nobody come to save the rest of us, but his grandparents wanted him and they came for him and got him away from us, and we only saw him on weekends after that. I had a very abusive uncle who beat the tarnation out of us. And when I say beat the tarnation, I'm not just talking about all the famous whoopings you heard, like extension cords. I'm talking about he'd get creative and braid them together. He'd go out there and we'd pick switches, he'd braid them together, and he beat us with them switches. And it was brutal, and it was normal to us. And so it was when I recall when our cousin was taken from our family, we collectively were angry that he left us. Like, you know, what you trying to say about us? You know what I'm saying? So I had to do a lot of deprogramming as I came into adulthood and began to learn. And then, you know, I went to college and I got out the hood per se. And so by the time I'm approaching parenthood, I approached it very much so from a gentle parent mindset, and very much so from I'm not going to abuse and I am afraid of whoopings because I didn't get them modeled to me in a way that were accurate. And so I was anti. And I had all these thoughts and ideas, and then I actually became a parent, and it was completely overwhelming. My children were challenging. I was challenged. I struggled with self-regulation and all those things, and I struggled a bit, and so I did try it. It is not my nature, though, to be a disciplinarian. I'm not a disciplinarian, and so I struggled with it, period. And the few bouts with corporal punishment that I have had or have ever had, I have not been very successful with, because it is just not my nature. I am gentle by nature. With that being said, I will say that being so gung-ho on gentle parenting had me fucked up. I ended up with some gentle parent children who are now in therapy. My son is off the damn chain. And I've had to roll a lot of that gentle shit back, right? Because see, we are so busy being gentle, or we're so busy being worried that we forget the importance of discipline and yes, a level of fear. And so I made those mistakes and then I paid for them. And so now I've landed somewhere in the middle. You know what I'm saying? Am I walking around with belts? I've threatened with belts. Ain't no belt. I don't even own a belt no more. And the one I had, I can't find. But I will quickly tell my son I'm gonna go get a belt. But I don't get a belt. But will he get a pop here and there? He's had to, because he lit. And now we in therapy because he's off the chain with his little cute stuff. So I say that to say that I think where the answer is somewhere in the middle. There really are, as was said in the comments, there's levels to it, and you have to know your child. And for some children, just talking to them won't be enough. They're gonna take you there. My son will burn this bitch down and then come back and then ask me why I'm mad he burned it down. Like lit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So every child is different. But even with all that I've been through, like I said, so I took it all the way back to bring it somewhere back in the middle. But do I feel very strongly in heavy corporal punishment? I don't. Because kids are going to do what kids are going to do regardless. Learning and making mistakes is part of the process. What I have come to truly believe is that parenting is the hardest job on earth, and it is trying, and children are going to take you there. And if your only response is to not keep your cool, you shouldn't be a parent. Actually, I would like to take this time now to tell people that I don't recommend parenting at all. I think that most people shouldn't have children at all. None of us should be having children.
It's the ghetto.
It's horrible. There's a small subsection of us that should raise the kids, and everybody else should stay out of it. As a matter of fact, we really need to let people go instinct. I don't know. We're still here because we're parasites.
You sound like Brandy.
They're cute though, and we love them.
Hold on, Michael. I want to jump cultures a little bit. What do you think about this whooping thing? Were you whooped as a child or no?
So I was occasionally, but I think like Natasha, there, I generally didn't get into too much trouble. I had very, very strict parents, and some of them have stuck with me over the years. But more than anything, that stuck with me was when they were disappointed in me. I think those were the things that really kind of resonated with me as a child, was just knowing that they would turn their love away from me to kind of express their displeasure with what I was doing. I'll say this, the older I get, the more I am convinced that violence is the wheelhouse of the young. And it somehow is like a lowest common denominator solution to most of the problems that we face. Because if you're violent towards somebody, it usually begets more violence. It causes more violence. And the world is already kind of a dark and violent place. And the thought of, when I am a parent, it isn't even until recently where I thought I would be a good one, right? Like I knew when I was younger, if I was a parent, I most definitely would have whooped my child, because that was where I was at in my life. I was a scrapper, right? Like I thought, if someone disrespected me, I went to violence pretty quickly. You know what I mean? But as I get older, I've realized like it's just the world is hard and cold in many ways, and I just wouldn't want to instill that. I just firmly believe there are other ways to do it. And like I said, thinking back to when I was a child, the beatings didn't stick with me, not because they weren't severe. So, I remember them very well. It was understanding what I did wrong and knowing that I disappointed my parents. That's what really made me want to change. And so I have to believe in my heart of hearts that when I do have children one day, I can be measured enough in my approach to try to be mindful of their minds, right? I think people underestimate how much children are capable of understanding and perceiving. And every child is different. There is no doubt. Some are more challenging than others. Of that, I would agree as well. But I think there is a route for all of them that doesn't require violence.
Yeah. And I would like to also take this time to point out that humans are pretty terrible. And so the most cute, most beautiful, most magnificent thing you have ever created, you will tell it 13 times not to knock your shit over, and they will knock it over for a 14th time. And you really have to have patience. And so I do think that parenting at its best is probably a game better left for older people, but that's not how we live. That's not how the world works, right? And so I think that it is definitely a better job for someone who is older and more mature. And I think that the parent you are at 20 is not the parent that you'll be at 40. And what I can say is I became a parent at around 34, 35, and it was brutal. And I have so many people now who talk to me and they tell me I'm a good parent. I do not think that I am a good parent at all. I think I'm committed. I don't think I'm good at this. This is really hard. I greatly dislike it. I just really love my children. It is hard to raise good people. It is hard to live with that. It is hard to live with somebody jumping on your fucking couch when you done spent your whole life working to get your stuff, and now he just kicking your stuff over like you didn't used to live in the projects. It's tough, y'all. It's hard. And it's hard to refrain from attacking. And it takes everything in you. And sometimes you just you know, so I what I can tell you is once upon a time I had everything to say to parents. Now I say nothing. I saw a woman yoke her child up the other day, and I remember saying to myself, unless she punches him in the face, I'm not saying a word. Because that's where I'm at on it now. Like, unless I just outright see you hit your kid with a baseball bat, I have nothing to say. You don't know what people are going through. Kids will take you there. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's hard. It's hard. It's just hard.
I thank you all for sharing your personal experiences. I look at this as a safe space, and it'll continue to be there. So as long as we're healing from this. So I want to thank you guys for sharing. We have to go though, because we have like a 5-minute meeting as co-host. So we're gonna do fashion files and come sit on my couch that we have for this week, next week. We've had a long. How long have we been on tonight?
2 hours.
Almost 2 hours.
Okay. So we love you guys.
I can't believe I'm saying this. I wanted fashion files. I like fashion files.
Yeah, we'll do it next. I don't want to keep y'all. It's 10 where you are, isn't it? 10:30?
10:30.
Yeah. I gotta let you guys go.
It's like
so. We'll do it next week. We love you guys for watching. Be looking for our clips online. Please share those. Y'all, we're stepping it up 2026. So we need our views. We need you to keep watching. Thank you for watching. We'll be back next week. We love you. Have a good night. Please like and share. Bye.
Bye.